Are the Celtics actually insane enough to trade away their franchise cornerstone for a superstar with an uncertain future? Let me hit you with something that'll make every Celtics fan's blood run cold. Imagine waking up tomorrow and seeing Jayson Tatum in a Milwaukee Bucks jersey while Giannis Antetokounmpo is holding up the green and white. Sounds like a fever dream, right? Well, buckle up because this isn't just some wild Reddit fantasy anymore. It's a legitimate trade scenario being floated by serious NBA analysts, and the shockwaves are reverberating through every corner of the basketball world. The NBA rumor mill has been working overtime ever since the Greek freak scrubbed his social media accounts cleaner than a crime scene and reportedly requested a trade out of Milwaukee. Now, CBS Sports' Sam Quinn has thrown gasoline on this already raging fire by proposing what might be the most audacious trade scenario of the decade. A straight-up swap between Giannis Antetokounmpo and Jayson Tatum. One superstar for another. No draft picks, no salary filler. Just two franchises gambling their entire futures on a single decision. This isn't your typical trade speculation where some bottom-feeding team tries to pry away a disgruntled star for a package of promising youngsters and future considerations. This is heavyweight championship boxing, two contenders staring each other down, each believing they can land the knockout punch that changes everything. Let's talk about Milwaukee's nightmare scenario first, because that's exactly what this is for Bucks fans. You've got a two-time MVP, a Finals MVP, a player who delivered the franchise's first championship in 50 years, and now he wants out. The betrayal stings worse than a Wisconsin winter, but here's the brutal truth. When a superstar of Giannis's caliber asks for trade, you don't get to keep him happy by begging. You get the best possible return and move forward. Enter Jayson Tatum, a five-time All-Star, a 2024 NBA champion, and at 27 years old, 3 precious years younger than the 30-year-old Antetokounmpo. The Bucks wouldn't be rebuilding. They'd be reloading with a perennial MVP candidate who's already proven he can carry a team to the promised land. Tatum's contract runs through 2028 to 29 with a player option for 2030, giving Milwaukee a legitimate championship window that extends well into the next decade. Quinn's analysis cuts straight to the strategic brilliance of this move for the Bucks. The Bucks could get a true superstar with a long-term contract back for the one who's leaving, tank out the rest of the season, get the lesser of 2 pretty valuable picks their own in New Orleans, and then immediately try to trade that pick for more help for Tatum. Think about the chess match here. Milwaukee already showed their cards when they absorbed over $100 million in obligations to Damian Lillard just to sign Miles Turner in free agency. That's not the move of a franchise planning to tear it down to the studs. That's a win-now organization desperately trying to remain competitive. Trading for Tatum would allow them to stay in that window while actually getting younger and potentially more dynamic. And this is a massive elephant in the room size, but there's the small matter of Tatum's torn Achilles tendon. He suffered the injury during the second round of the 2025 playoffs, and anyone who knows basketball history understands that Achilles injuries are career-altering nightmares. Kevin Durant came back and remained elite, sure, but for every KD success story, there's a Kobe Bryant cautionary tale. Would Milwaukee really mortgage their franchise icon for a player whose explosive first step and athletic dominance might never return to pre-injury levels? Now flip the script and look at this from Boston's perspective, and suddenly the picture gets even more complicated. The Celtics find themselves in a position that would have seemed impossible just months ago. They have every piece necessary to win another championship except the most important one. Their franchise superstar is recovering from a devastating injury with no guaranteed timeline for return to form. Boston's supporting cast reads like an all-star roster. Jaylen Brown is still in his prime and proved during the 2024 championship run that he can be the best player on a title team when needed. The role players are championship tested. The coaching staff knows how to win. The Eastern Conference is wide open, with no dominant juggernaut standing in the way. All they need is that one transcendent talent to put them over the top. Giannis Antetokounmpo would give them exactly that. The man has finished in the top 3 of MVP voting in 3 of the last 4 seasons. His defensive prowess is arguably superior to Tatum's, and his ability to dominate games through sheer physical will is unmatched in today's NBA. Plug Giannis into the Celtics roster, slide Jaylen Brown back into that perfect secondary role he thrived in, and suddenly Boston isn't just a contender, they're the favorites to dethrone the Oklahoma City Thunder and reclaim the championship. The basketball logic is airtight. The competitive advantage is clear. The path to another banner is illuminated. So, why does this trade feel so wrong? Because loyalty matters. Because franchise cornerstones aren't just assets on a balance sheet. Because Jayson Tatum is Boston's guy, and trading him away would be the kind of cold-blooded front office move that haunts an organization for decades. Quinn nailed it when he wrote, "This isn't a cold, rational world. It's the real one." The Celtics wouldn't trade Tatum for anything. That's bigger than basketball. He's their guy. Remember what happened with Luka Doncic last season? The Dallas Mavericks learned the hard way that trading away your franchise cornerstone when it's not absolutely necessary can blow up in your face spectacularly. Boston general manager Brad Stevens watched that disaster unfold in real time. Would he really make the same mistake? Here's where this gets technically fascinating. The salary cap implications for both teams would remain essentially unchanged this year. Tatum's Supermax deal and Giannis's Supermax deal are comparable enough that neither franchise would need to include additional salary filler or make corresponding moves to balance the books. It's clean. It's simple. It's terrifyingly easy to execute. That simplicity is both the beauty and the danger of this proposal. There are no complicated three-team machinations, no draft pick protections to negotiate, no young prospects to evaluate. Just two organizations deciding whether they believe more in their current superstar or the one they could acquire. Let's address the massive uncertainty that hangs over this entire scenario like a dark cloud. Giannis himself just suffered a right calf strain that will sideline him for 2 to 4 weeks. Add that to Tatum's Achilles recovery, and you've got two superstars whose immediate health status is questionable at best. For Milwaukee, trading a currently injured Giannis for a recovering from catastrophic injury Tatum would be like two people in burning buildings agreeing to swap apartments. Sure, maybe the new place has better amenities, but you're still surrounded by flames. For Boston, acquiring an injured Giannis doesn't solve their immediate problem of needing a healthy superstar to lead them through the playoffs. A calf strain isn't career-threatening like an Achilles tear, but it's yet another variable in an already impossibly complex equation. Here's the wrinkle that could unravel this entire scenario. Reports suggest Giannis's preferred destination is the New York Knicks, not Boston. The Greek freak apparently wants the bright lights of Madison Square Garden, the media capital of the world, and the chance to restore glory to the NBA's most famous franchise. If Giannis has his heart set on New York, would he even commit long-term to Boston? The last thing the Celtics need is to trade away their beloved franchise cornerstone for a rental player who bolts to Manhattan in free agency, leaving them with nothing but regret and angry fans burning jerseys outside TD Garden. So here we are, standing at the crossroads of one of the most fascinating hypothetical trades in recent NBA history. Should Milwaukee pull the trigger? Should Boston? For the Bucks, the answer is probably yes, if they believe Tatum can return to his pre-injury form. They're getting younger, maintaining their championship window, and acquiring a player who's already proven he can be the best player on a title team. The risk is enormous, but so is the potential reward. For the Celtics, the answer is almost certainly no. The basketball logic might make sense, but the emotional and organizational cost of trading Jayson Tatum would be catastrophic. Brad Stevens would be vilified. The fan base would revolt. And if Giannis doesn't work out or leaves in free agency, the franchise would be set back a decade. Quinn's assessment rings true. Loyalty and franchise identity matter more than cold, hard basketball analysis. Tatum is Boston's guy, and sometimes that's bigger than any trade proposal, no matter how tantalizing it might look on paper. Regardless of whether this trade ever happens, and let's be honest, it almost certainly won't, the fact that it's being seriously discussed tells us everything about the current state of the NBA. Superstars have more power than ever. Franchise loyalty is a quaint relic of a bygone era, and teams are willing to consider previously unthinkable moves if they believe it gives them even a slightly better chance at a championship. The Giannis Antetokounmpo trade saga is just beginning, and while Boston might not be his ultimate destination, the shockwaves from his trade request will reshape the entire league. Contenders will get aggressive, pretenders will be exposed, and somewhere in the middle of it all, Jayson Tatum will continue his rehabilitation, probably thanking his lucky stars that Brad Stevens values loyalty over calculated risk. This is the NBA in 2025. Chaotic, unpredictable, and absolutely riveting. Where Giannis ends up remains anyone's guess, but one thing's for certain, the journey is going to be one hell of a ride. What do you think? Would you trade your franchise cornerstone for a chance at immediate glory, or is loyalty worth more than championships? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to smash that like button if you want more deep dive analysis on the trades that could reshape the NBA forever.